A communication protocol is a system of rules that allows two or more entities of a communication system to transmit information. The protocol defines the rules, syntax, semantics, and synchronization of a communication and possible error recovery methods. Protocols may be implemented by hardware, software, or a combination of both. Communicating systems use well-defined formats for exchanging various messages. Each message has an exact meaning intended to elicit a response from a range of possible responses predetermined for that particular situation. The specified behavior is typically independent of how it is to be implemented. Communication protocols have to be agreed upon by the parties involved. To reach an agreement, a protocol may be developed into a technical standard. A programming language describes the same for computations. So there is a close analogy between protocols and programming languages. Protocols are to communication what program languages are to computations. An alternate formulation states that protocols are to communication what algorithms are to computation. Multiple protocols often describe different aspects of a single communication. A group of protocols designed to work together is known as a protocol suite. When implemented in software, they are a protocol stack. Internet communication protocols are published by the Internet Engineering Task Force, IETF. The IEEE Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers handles wired and wireless networking and the International Organization for Standardization, ISO, handles other types. The ITU-T handles telecommunications protocols and formats for the public switch telephone network, PSTN. As the PSTN and Internet converge, the standards are also being driven towards convergence. Communicating systems, history. Furthermore, information protocol wars. The first use of the term protocol in the modern data communication context occurs in April 1967 in a memorandum entitled The Protocol for Use in the NPL Data Communications Network, under the direction of Coates, who pioneered packet switching at the National Physical Laboratory in the United Kingdom. It was written for the NPL network. They published their work the following year. On the ARPANET, the starting point for host-to-host communication in 1969 was the 1832 protocol, written by Coates, which defined the transmission of messages to an IMP. The Network Control Program, NCP, for the ARPANET, developed by Coates and other graduate students, including, was first implemented in 1970. The NCP interface allowed application software to connect across the ARPANET by implementing high-level communication protocols, an early example of the protocol layering concept. The Cyclades network, designed by Coates in the early 1970s, was the first to implement the end-to-end principle and make the hosts responsible for the reliable delivery of data on the packet switch network, rather than this being a service of the network itself. His team was the first to tackle the highly complex problem of providing user applications with a reliable virtual circuit service while using a best effort service. An early contribution to what will be the Transmission Control Protocol, TCP. Coates and others at Xerox PARC outlined the idea of Ethernet and the PARC Universal Packet, PUP, for internetworking. Research in the early 1970s led to the formulation of the Transmission Control Program, TCP. Its RFC 675 specification was written by Coates and in December 1974, still a monolithic design at this time. The International Networking Group agreed on a connectionless datagram standard, which was presented to the CCITT in 1975, but was not adopted by the CCITT nor by the ARPANET. Separate international research, particularly the work of Coates, contributed to the development of the X.25 standards, based on virtual circuits, which was adopted by the CCITT in 1976. Computer manufacturers developed proprietary protocols such as IBM's System Network Architecture, SNA. Digital Corporation's DECnet and Xerox network systems. TCP software was redesigned as a modular protocol stack referred to as TCP/IP. This was installed on SetNet in 1982 and on the ARPANET in January 1983. The development of a complete Internet Protocol suite by 1989 as outlined in RFC 1122 and RFC 1123 laid the foundation for the growth of TCP/IP as a comprehensive protocol suite as a core component of the emerging Internet. International work on the reference model for communication standards led to the OSI model, published in 1984. For a period in the late 1980s and early 1990s, engineers, organizations, and nations became polarized over the issue of which standard, the OSI model or the Internet Protocol Suite, would result in the best and most robust computer networks. Concepts: the information exchange between devices through a network or other media is governed by rules and conventions that can be set out in communication protocols specification. The nature of communication: the actual data exchanged and any state-dependent behaviors is defined by these specifications. In digital computing systems, the rules can be expressed by algorithms and data structures. Protocols are to communication, what algorithms or programming languages are to computations. Operating systems usually contain a set of operating processes that manipulate shared data to communicate with each other. This communication is governed by well-understood protocols, which can be embedded in the process code itself. It is governed by well-understood protocols. In contrast, because there is no shared memory, communicating systems have to communicate with each other using a shared transmission medium. Transmission is not necessarily reliable, and individual systems may use different hardware or operating systems. To implement a networking protocol, the protocol software modules are interfaced with the framework implemented on the machine's operating system. This framework implements the networking functionality of the operating system. When protocol algorithms are expressed in a portable programming language, the protocol software may be made operating system independent. The best known frameworks are the TCP/IP model and the OSI model. At the same time the Internet was developed, abstraction layering has proven to be a successful design approach for both compiler and operating system design, and given the similarities between programming languages and communication protocols. The originally monolithic networking programs were decomposed into cooperating protocols. This gave rise to the concept of layered protocols, which nowadays forms the basis of protocol design. Systems typically do not use a single protocol to handle the transmission. Instead, they use a set of cooperating protocols, sometimes called a protocol suite. Some of the best-known protocol suites are TCP/IP, IPX, SPX, X.25, AX, .25, and AppleTalk. The protocols can be arranged based on functionality in groups. For instance, there is a group of transport protocols. The functionalities are mapped onto the layers, each layer solving a distinct class of problems relating to, for instance, application, transport, internet, and network interface functions. To transmit a message, a protocol has to be selected from each layer. The selection of the next protocol is accomplished by extending the message with the protocol selected for each layer. Types: there are two types of communication protocols based on their representation of the content being carried. Text-based and binary. Text-based. The text-based protocol or plain text protocol represents its content in human-readable format, often in plain text encoded in a machine-readable encoding such as ASCII or UTF-8, or in structured text-based formats such as Intel hex formats, XML, or JSON. The immediate human readability stands in contrast to native binary protocols, which have inherent benefits for use in the computer environment, such as ease of mechanical processing and improved bandwidth utilization. Network applications have various methods of encapsulating data. One method very common with Internet protocols is a text-oriented representation that transmits requests and responses as lines of ASCII, text dominated by a new line character, and usually a character return character. Examples of protocols that use plain human-readable text for its commands are FTP File Transfer Protocol, SMTP Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, early versions of HTTP Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and the Finger Protocol. Text-based protocols are typically optimized for human parsing and interpretation and are therefore suitable whenever human inspection of protocol contents is required, such as during debugging and during early protocol development design phases. A binary protocol utilizes all values of a byte, as opposed to a text-based protocol which only uses values corresponding to human-readable characters in ASCII encoding. Binary protocols are intended to be read by a machine rather than a human being. Binary protocols have the advantages of terseness, which translates into speed of transmission and interpretation. Binary have been used in normative documents describing modern standards like EBXML, HTTP/2, HTTP/3, EDOC. An interface in UML may also be considered as a binary protocol. Basic requirements. Getting the data across the network is only the part of the problem. For a protocol, the data received has to be evaluated in the context of the progress of the conversation, so a protocol must include rules describing the context. These kinds of rules are said to express the syntax of the communication. Other rules determine whether the data is meaningful for the context in which the exchange takes place. These kinds of rules are said to express the semantics of the communication. Messages are sent and received on communicating systems to establish communication. Protocols should therefore specify rules governing the transmission. In general, much of the following should be addressed. Data formats for data exchange. Digital message bit string are exchanged. The bit strings are divided in fields, and in each field carries information relevant to the protocol. Conceptually, the bit string is divided into two parts called the header and the payload. The actual message is carried in the payload. The header area contains a field with relevance to the operation of the protocol. Bit strings longer than the maximum transmission unit, MTU, are divided in pieces of appropriate size. Address formats for data exchange. Addresses are used to identify both the sender and the intended receivers. The addresses are carried in the header area of the bit strings, allowing the receivers to determine whether the bit strings are of interest and should be processed or should be ignored. A connection between the sender and the receiver can be identified using an address pair. Sender address, receiver address. Usually some address values have special meanings, and all one's address could be taken to mean an addressing of all stations on the network. So sending to this address would result in a broadcast on the local network. The rules describing the meanings of the address value are collectively called an addressing scheme, address mapping. Sometimes protocols need to map addresses of one scheme on addresses of another scheme. For instance, to translate a logical IP address specified by the application to an Ethernet MAC address. This is referred to as address mapping. We're going to switch this over to French. I feel like talking French, don't you? Now we're going to zoom in a little bit. If we know where the button is, like this, zoom, 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 zoom. And let's see what we got. Dans les réseaux informatiques et la télécommunication, un protocole de communication est une spécification de plusieurs règles pour un type de communication particulière. Initialement, on nommait protocole ce qui est utilisé pour communiquer sur une même couche d'abstraction entre deux machines différentes. Par extension de langage, on utilise parfois ce mot aussi aujourd'hui pour désigner les règles de communication entre deux couches sur une même machine. Concept. Communiquer consiste à transmettre des informations maintenant que les interlocuteurs ne lui ont pas attribué en sens. Il ne s'agit que de données et pas d'informations. Les interlocuteurs doivent donc non seulement parler un langage commun, mais aussi maîtriser des règles minimales d'émission et de réception des données. C'est le rôle d'un protocole de s'assurer de tout cela. Par exemple, dans le cas d'un appel téléphonique. Point 1. L'interlocuteur apprend que vous avez quelque chose à transmettre. Vous composez son numéro pour faire sonner son combiné. Il indique qu'il est prêt à recevoir. Il décroche et il dit « Allô ». Et situez votre communication dans son contexte. Je suis Marc, je t'appelle pour les raisons suivantes. Un éventuel destinataire final peut y être identifié. Peux-tu prévenir Michel que le correspondant censuré va d'avoir bien compris le message? Peux-tu me répéter le nom? Les procédures d'anomalie sont mises en place. Je te rappelle si je n'arrive pas à le joindre. Les interlocuteurs se mettant d'accord sur la fin de la communication. Merci de m'avoir prévenu. Cette métacommunication n'est autre que la mise en œuvre de protocoles. Mais la communication ci-dessus en aussi implicitement enclenché un autre protocole avec une autre couche de communication en attendant d'avoir la tonalité pour composer le numéro de votre correspondant et les standards téléphoniques de départ et d'arrivée. Pour leur part, ce sont coordonnés entre eux aussi autant de protocoles superposés et qui peuvent être indépendantes, puisque chaque concerne une couche d'abstraction et sont à distance. Exemple d'utilisation. Lorsqu'on est en session X Window avec un ordinateur à distance sur une ligne RNIS, la communication est payée au temps. On peut, dans la plupart des cas, déconnecter la session de base niveau RNIS au bout de quelques secondes d'inactivité, tout en maintenant de la connexion de niveau supérieur TCP/IP. Ainsi, lorsqu'un message TCP/IP est envoyé, le pilote RNIS rétablit la communication en moins de 2 secondes, donnant l'illusion d'une continuité de liaison avec des prix bas. Pour TCP/IP, la liaison n'aurait jamais semblé être coupée. Notre référence liaison externe. Voir aussi article connexe interopérabilité, Internet protocole, suite de protocoles Internet, protocole réseau. Un protocole réseau est un protocole de communication mis en œuvre sur un réseau informatique ou un réseau de télécommunications. Il est fréquent que plusieurs protocoles réseau formant des couches de protocoles. Les couches afin de s'y retrouver au milieu des protocoles et même de pouvoir en changer. On les hiérarchise, par exemple, en 4 couches dans le modèle TCP/IP. D'autres modèles plus complexes, comme le SNADBM, ou le modèle d'Orlowsi, comptant chacun 7 couches, ont rencontré moins de succès pratiques et sont plutôt évoqués aujourd'hui à des fins de complétude de la théorie. I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to pause this and we'll continue later.